Elon Musk and Donald Trump are feuding, and I don't talk politics on this show, but I just wanted to have a little fun and ask the sports equivalent of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. For those who don't know where this comes from, Elon Musk recently left the Trump administration and went public, absolutely trashing the big, beautiful bill that Trump wants to get passed through Congress right now. He's criticizing it because he's mad that it doesn't actually eliminate the deficit. He says it adds to the debt, so he's very upset about that. At least that's what he says. There could be other ulterior motives, but that's just what he says. He started to criticize the bill, and then Trump came out and said Elon Musk has Trump derangement syndrome. And then Elon Musk came out and said that Trump wouldn't have won the election last year without him. Then he goes further and goes nuclear with a series of tweets accusing Trump of being on Jeffrey Epstein's plane and Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs and in the Epstein files, and that's why the Epstein list wasn't released. I don't know what the motives are behind that. Now, again, because of those, there are some people who believe that Elon Musk knows about this stuff and he's just being extremely petty now, but he's playing with fire. But here's the question I want to ask. This public breakup from two people that really did a lot to upset half the country and galvanize half the country in their support. What is the sports equivalent of this public breakup? Honestly, what's the sports equivalent of this public breakup? What are public breakups so bitter in history that this would go there? I got a few in mind, and I'm not so sure which one is the biggest. Antonio Brown and Tom Brady strikes me as one. I mean, Antonio Brown took one. It's actually similar to Trump in the sense that, and Trump and Elon in the sense that Antonio Brown and Tom Brady was a bit of a comeback story. Antonio Brown got cut by the Patriots in 2019. The Patriots then get eliminated in the first round, and Tom Brady's last game as a Patriot. He goes to Tampa. Midway through that year in Tampa, they sign Antonio Brown. The two go win a Super Bowl together. That's a comeback story similar to Trump losing his election, being left dead in the water, and coming back and winning re-election in 2024. And then Antonio Brown and Tom Brady have a very public breakup where Antonio Brown turns on the team, takes off his shirt, runs off the field, and then just goes and becomes a troll on Twitter, most notably sending memes hinting at the idea that he had some sort of relations with Tom Brady's wife, Giselle, ex-wife. Obviously that's not true, but that's what Antonio Brown says. So I got Antonio Brown and Tom Brady as one. By the way, if that's the case, then Ben Roethlisberger is Mike Pence if Antonio Brown is Donald Trump, since Antonio Brown feuded with Ben Roethlisberger too. So that's an interesting one. Another one could be T.O. and Donovan McNabb. Again, T.O. Donovan McNabb had a great first year in 2004, almost won the Super Bowl. If Donovan McNabb hadn't been sick and T.O. had not been playing injured, they might actually win that Super Bowl in 2004 against the Patriots. So T.O. and Donovan McNabb works. The next year, T.O. just launches on a tirade against Donovan McNabb. At one point says that when they have a losing record, they'd be undefeated if they had Brett Favre instead of Donovan McNabb. This is back in 2005. T.O. suspended for the whole season, gets hurt, cut by the Eagles, goes to the Cowboys, and wrecked that Eagles franchise under Andy Reid. Again, kind of similar to the Antonio Brown one. T.O. had multiple enemies before then. So you could say if T.O. is Trump and McNabb is Elon Musk, then Jeff Garcia would be Mike Pence. So that's kind of a fun one to break down. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Now, this is a subtle, petty one. It's similar to another one I'm going to name, which is Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. In both instances, the players don't like each other, player, coach, whatever. Now, Derek Jeter and A-Rod, I'm throwing that out. They had no public spats. They were teammates till the end. They just seemed to not like each other for just the way they believed in approaching the Yankees. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick is a little bit different. They both have something to prove. They're both trying to upstage the other one. Tom Brady did upstage Bill by winning a Super Bowl in Tampa. Bill wants to upstage Tom by being successful at North Carolina at the college game. But they haven't thrown public shots at each other. Okay? Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. They have thrown public shots at each other, but they never had a breakup. And what I mean by that is they've thrown public shots at each other after Jerry Krause broke up that team on its own. But Michael Jordan in The Last Dance did maybe throw some shots at Scottie that were unnecessary. And Scottie, in response in his book, just went nuclear on Michael Jordan in so many ways that relationship will never be rectified. Put it that way. And then finally, Shaq and Kobe. I think the Elon Musk Donald Trump breakup is the sports equivalent of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. The Elon Musk Donald Trump breakup is the sports equivalent of Shaq and Kobe. Why? In both cases, they teamed up despite being almost opposite personalities and built and enjoyed a lot of success early on that created and divided the public. In Shaq and Kobe's case, the NBA fan base either religiously hated them or religiously loved them. In Elon's and Trump's case, people who follow politics either religiously hated them or religiously loved them. Then there was a big breakup. And when the breakup happened, they both took insane shots at each other. That if you were on their side, if you were a Laker fan, you hated to see it. If you rooted for the Trump administration, you hate to see this. If you were on the other side, if you don't like Trump, you love to see what's happening with him and Elon. If you didn't like the Lakers, you love to see what was happening with Shaq and Kobe. For those who don't remember, Kobe said, I should have paid my women like Shaq when he was having his trial in 2004. That's basically the equivalent of Elon throwing out Trump being on the Epstein files, isn't it? I mean, that's pretty much the same thing. But beforehand, Shaq threw a lot of shots at Kobe, not at one point saying, our whole team is there when Kobe wasn't there, and undercutting him and his value to the team at so many different times when he was having anger. That was what Donald Trump somewhat was doing too, with Elon Musk publicly saying things like Musk has Trump derangement syndrome before we got to this point, and then Musk going full nuclear, accusing Trump of being tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Shaq, of course, had his own moment in the Shaq-Kobe feud where he had that rap taking total shots at Kobe when the Lakers lost to the Celtics in 6 games in the 2008 finals. Of course, Kobe went to win on 2 titles after that to end up finishing his career with one more ring than Shaq. When Kobe wins that title in 2010, he literally says, he was asked, how do you feel to win your 5th title? And he said, 1 more than Shaq. So I think the Elon Trump feud is more like Shaq Kobe, because going back to the ones I mentioned, Antonio Brown and Tom Brady, that was way more Antonio Brown than it was Tom Brady. T.O. and Donovan McNabb, way more T.O. than it was Donovan McNabb. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, neither's talking publicly. Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez, neither's talking publicly. You can maybe say Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, but Scottie Pippen's talking way more nuclear than Michael Jordan did. Michael Jordan maybe made a couple comments, but that was it. I'm going Shaq and Kobe because they both went nuclear on each other. They went nuclear on each other, and it got bitter. And honestly, it was some great entertainment for those of us who were NBA fans at the time. Elon and Trump are doing that to each other now. So I think Elon Trump is Shaq and Kobe. If it is any feud, if there is any feud similar to Elon and Trump in sports, it's Shaq and Kobe. It's Shaq and Kobe. And it's because to have a feud similar to this, you got to be both sides are public and both sides are going nuclear. And that's what happened in this case.